Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. All this week in the run-up to Easter Sunday, we are looking at the Easter people. We're looking at some of the characters who feature in the biblical accounts of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ and the whole events of his passion that surround that. Now, today we're looking at the Centurion, who was basically commanding the soldiers who nailed Jesus to the cross. In Matthew 27, verse 50, it says, "And when Jesus had cried out again in a loud voice, he gave up his spirit. And at that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook, the rocks split, and the tombs broke open, and the bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. They came out of the tombs after Jesus' resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared to many people. When the centurion and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and all that had happened, they were terrified and exclaimed, 'Surely he was the Son of God.'" Here we have a skeptic convinced, somebody who was hard-bitten and hard-hearted. You know, to be in charge of a squad of soldiers that carried out the awful sentence of crucifixion was not a job that was given to anybody with sensitive feelings. Crucifixion was such a cruel method of death. It was cunningly devised to inflict the maximum pain and suffering upon the person concerned. And it was also designed to produce the maximum humiliation. I know we have lots of nice bits of religious art that has Jesus wearing an artfully draped loincloth on the cross. People were not crucified wearing a loincloth. They were crucified naked. And the reason was to humiliate them, to expose them to mockery. Everything about crucifixion, the whole ritual of torture and scourging and whipping, the crown of thorns, it was all about humiliation. Because this was the Romans had other ways of killing people. You know, they beheaded people, they strangled people. They had lots of different ways of killing people, but crucifixion was designed to be the most humiliating. It was designed to be an example that other people would look at and say, "There's no way that I'm going to do whatever that person did." It was a harsh deterrent. It was also a way of dealing with people that maybe were popular, revolutionaries, people who led revolts against Roman authorities, or religious leaders who threatened Rome's security. The idea was that by killing, not just killing them, but killing them in the most shameful and humiliating way possible, you ensured that they would not even be remembered as a martyr, but they would be remembered as a figure of shame and abuse and mockery. And yet here we have this hard-bitten Roman centurion, so amazed by the events surrounding the death of Jesus. Yes, the way that Jesus died, his courage and his forgiving the people who crucified him, but also the earthquake, the tearing of the veil in the temple, all the stuff that happened at that same time. Here we see a man who says, "Surely he was the Son of God." And it doesn't just say that the centurion said it, it said, "And those who were with him, they were terrified and exclaimed, 'Surely he was the Son of God.'" I want to tell you that the hardest bitten sinner, the greatest skeptic, the person who seems the most abusive against Christianity and your faith, can be turned around by the power of the cross. When we come to the foot of the cross, everything changes. And I want to tell you, this conversion was not some emotional thing. This was a real deal, because this guy was risking so much. Do you know, to become a Christian in the first century basically was often a death penalty, a death sentence on the person who made that decision, particularly if they were a Roman soldier, because as Christians in the early church, Christians did not engage in warfare. They refused to kill other people. They refused even to be magistrates because thereby they might kill somebody else. They certainly refused to be soldiers and to fight in wartime. And a Roman soldier who refused to kill people, well, he was only fit to be killed himself under Roman rule and Roman law. So this man made a life-changing and a courageous and a brave declaration when he says, surely he was the Son of God. And I believe that today, when we stand at the foot of the cross, there is a similar transformation takes place in our lives and the lives of other people that we can bring to the foot of the cross. You know, and all the other stuff that's going on around us, this crazy year with its pandemic and everything else, let's keep our eyes fixed on the cross. And then the things of this world will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. Thank you for joining us for this Take 5. Please join us again tomorrow. We'll look again at another of the Easter people in our Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.